Hi everyone, Nicholas Lee here and welcome to day number 10 of the Duty to Sell challenge. And by the way, if you're still with me, congratulations, well done, because most people give up very quickly when things get tough, when it feels like there's too much to do. So yeah, congrats. You're 1/3 through the challenge. There's 20 more days to go and hopefully 20 more days of learning, of growing, and hopefully you can start to see some of the results. You can start to see some of the changes happening in your own mind, in your own life, in your own business, in the way you speak about selling, and hopefully in the way you sell already. Day number 10 is going to be about how to make selling natural. Because here's the thing, guys, it's very important to realize something very important. You, as the business owner, you have a solution, whether it's a product or whether it's a service. You are helping someone to improve their lives by solving a problem. I don't think enough people talk about that fact, but if you understand this, you know that in any shape or form, if someone is coming to you, it's two very clear points. Number one, they have a problem. Number two, they need a solution. It's as simple as that. In sales, it's very simple. Your prospect has a problem, you have the solution. So how can you make it, or how can you help them realize that, one, the problem they're having has to be resolved, not tomorrow, not in a week's time, not in a year's time, of course, depending on circumstances, but most likely they do need to solve it today as quickly as they can so they can improve their life. Two, you need to help them understand why your product or your service is the right one for them. By the way, it needs to be the right one. If it's not, you just let them realize and tell them that and direct them to something better or more suitable for them. And that's okay as well. And the other thing, you want them to realize that the price, the investment they're going to be paying you is way less, 10 times, 100 times less than what you are going to offer them as value. And this is the whole goal of me going through the Dragon Scales with you, to help you expand and open your mind and awareness as to what you actually do for your clients, okay? But today it's going to be one very important training, which is going to be more around problems, okay? So day number 10 is about the problem-solving framework that makes selling natural. The reason I call it makes selling natural is the exact reason I mentioned earlier, is that every prospect that comes to you has a problem. The things that maybe you've never done before or no one's kind of helped you for before is actually go deep and really understand not just one problem that's the most obvious one, but really dig and figure out all of the problems that your solution or product is solving for them. Some of it may be so simple that you've taken it for granted. But like we said earlier in other videos, because you've been doing it for so long and you have solved so many challenges, for you the problems those people are encountering, which you think is like a no-brainer, it's like a nothing, for them in their world, it is everything. And that's why today we're going to work on figuring out what are the problems that your prospects are seeing from their eyes, which is from their perspective, which is from their reticular activating system, their RAS. Because like I said, to me, everything is around the reticular activating system. And if you can see the world from your prospect's perspective, you're going to be able to sell more. You're going to be able to see that you selling is a duty and is very important, because their life is not going to get better if you don't help them solve it. Okay, so let's dive into this, right? I've just explained why we do want to start with problems, and it's all down to, again, the reticular activating system. Like we said, right? You in your world right now, you coming to this challenge, your reticular activating system has been around the problems of selling. So what did I do as someone who has the answers, who has the solution, who has the products and services that can help you solve those problems? I went back and put myself in your shoes, which is I put myself back to when I started my journey and looked at all of the problems I was encountering. So at this point, just to give you some examples, and in the training, I'll show you and I'll write more so it gives you more ideas as to how you should look at your situation. But in my case, I knew that I was struggling because my mindset, the way I was thinking about sales wasn't correct, and I solved it. I knew that my identity was wrong, and that's why I couldn't close the door, even though I had the questions, I had the objection handling situations. I just didn't believe that I could do it. And that's why the Duty to Sell challenge was created. Now, if you go, let's actually go around. Let's go around the influence code, right? I'll show you because I do what I teach. So as you can see, phase 1, self-influence, is the identity, the mindset around selling to help you sell more, even if you don't even know what to say yet, with the right passion, belief, and the identity that it's your duty to sell. I strongly believe that you will close more deals without even knowing questions or processes. Now, once this is solved as a problem, the next problem for you would be, how can I make consistent sales again and again and again without letting my emotions take control of me, without having any issues in not knowing what questions to ask, when to ask the questions? How do you help someone to want to buy from me? This is what selling without script is about, and this is the next one I would suggest you go for and go through it, because you will learn a lot, and you should be able to, again, take your sales skills to the next level. After that, I know that I was struggling with objections, right? I need to go and think about it. Oh, I don't have the money. I need to ask my partner. All of those objections, most likely you would have heard of them if you're trying to sell or if you're trying to help someone buy your products. So that's why the next phase of me solving your problems is how to handle objections. Then, depending on where you are in your business, my point of view is the level of influence you should have should now duplicate from being a one-on-one conversation where you can close one person at a time at a lower level to now close them on much bigger deals. So for example, I've closed deals from $5,000 to $10,000 to 15, 40, 70,000. And the biggest one I've done is at multiple six figures. And there's a slightly different problem you will encounter at this level, which is going to be more around the emotional selling side of things. Okay. At this stage here, it's more mechanical, it's more transactional, closing $50, $100, up to even to $2,000. You can do it at a click of a button. People can buy. When you get to bigger numbers, you do need to have a conversation, and it's a bit more emotional in terms of how you close, which leads me then to level 4, which is leverage influence. Instead of speaking and closing one-on-one clients, you can now close one to multiple people, meaning you spend an hour, instead of just making, $5,000 because that's your product, you could be closing 5 to 10 times that amount in the same amount of time. And this is what leverage influence is about, selling to the mass. Okay. And finally, to me, the biggest level of influence, and to me, the place where most business owners may want to get to, is how can they even increase their influence even after they are gone. And this is where the legacy influence is about, how to create influence that outlives you. So in my view, going through the exercise I'm about to share with you today, hopefully that will allow you to also see from your prospect's eyes what are the problems they have, so you can create a whole range of products and services for them. Okay, and maybe your main product and service solves a lot of those problems at the same time. But as you may know, finding and having a customer trust you is one of the most expensive job you would have to do as a business owner. So the best way to grow your business is to find ways to provide even more value to your clients and therefore be able to charge them more. And of course, the most important thing, bring them 10 to 100 to 1,000 times more value than they've paid you, even at the higher level. Okay, so if someone's paying me $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, I expect them to be making at least $500,000 back over the next year, 2 years, 5 years, if not more. Okay, and that's why I love to teach sales and skills, because the selling skills will keep on improving and getting better, so I know the value will keep growing. And I can promise you, in most services and products, this is something that can be done, and this is what we're going to work on over the next few days. Okay, so let's get back into this. We're going to work on the Dragon Scales for day number 10. So as you may know, you would have access to the Dragon's Forge. If you don't have it, go to day number 4. You should find it there. You would have done Dragon's Mirror, the Dragon's Eye. I would suggest you keep on working on the Dragon's Eye every single day in this challenge. After the challenge, you may choose if you want to keep doing it or stop it. I don't really mind. I don't mind as well now. It's all for you. I'm not going to win anything from you doing it. It's you, your own life. It's your own growth. So anything you do here is going to be for you, not for me. So my suggestion, I like to call myself as a doctor sometimes. My prescription for you would be, first prescription, make sure you do the Dragon's Eye. Find 5 good things in your life every single day. The Dragon's Vault, okay, another prescription. Keep finding the achievements you're going through, the hard times you get past, and write them and build this vault as powerful as it can be. Then the Dragon Scale, so keep working with me on this. We have a lot more to go through, and I'm very excited to see how you benefit from this. Okay, so let's go through this. So number 10, day 10 is about the problems your clients come with. Earlier, we looked at the value we can provide and how you've improved their lives. But the main thing is coming from their perspective, which is the problems they have and also the problems they think they have. Now, there's a very important quote that I will teach more in the Mechanical Influence Selling Without Script Challenge. And it's a quote. You may want to write this down. I will keep on saying it so you will hear it again. But what it means, what it says is this. Sell people what they want and give them what they need. And this is from one of my good friend and my first mentor as well in this, Jason James. And maybe he picked it up from someone else, but I picked it up from him, so I'm going to give him credit. So let me repeat that. Sell your prospects what they want, and you want in capital letters, and then give them what they need. So this is all about selling, right? Like I said, the reason I'm going to go now in problems is clients will come to you with problems from their perspective, which is from the things they are seeing with their RAS, right? So the point here is they may not be aware of additional problems that you can solve. Okay? So therefore, if they come to you with 3 problems, sell them the solution you have for those 3 problems only. Do not worry about things they've never heard of, thought of, that you know they need to solve, because they will not understand it and they will get confused. By the way, when we work on objections, very often people create the objections they get, and one of the big one is, I need to think about it. And the reason you get I need to think about it is because you've bombarded some of your clients with everything you do. Of course, from a good place, because you know you can solve 10 problems. But if their RAS only knows of the 3 problems and you just bombard them with 7 more problems, they are getting confused, which brings me to another quote you may want to write down. A confused buyer doesn't buy. A confused buyer doesn't buy. So if you confuse them at the point of sale, you don't even have a chance to help them. And this is what this quote is about. Sell them what they want, get the money for what they came for. Once they get into your world, into your economies, or once they've paid you, now give them all of the solutions you know that can help them. In the same way for me, you may have come here because you thought you needed more help with your mindset around sales, your identity around sales, so you came here. And once you come here, you realize, oh my goodness, there's a lot more things that maybe can help me get even better results with my sales, grow my business, make more money. Maybe you came here because you thought you couldn't sell, you didn't have a script, you didn't have a process, you thought scripts was important, so you came into phase 2 from the get-go. And then you realize, oh, maybe I need to start with phase 1 because I now give you what you need, but I sold you into this one. In the same way, you may come from thinking that you need to solve objections because you've got too many of them. So you came through phase 2B, and then I ask you, maybe go start through phase 1 because that's what you need first to maximize the value you get from me. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some clarity as to what I mean by let's figure out the problems first, because then you can see the world from your client's perspective, from your prospect's perspective. Okay, so let's dive into this right now. And by the way, do make that list of ahas, because I strongly believe some of you may have got some good ahas already. So write them down, because we know we're going to have to track them so that you can inspire others, so that you can share what you've learned, so that others can then talk about it and you can get better at those concepts, ideas I'm sharing. But also, like I mentioned, this will help me know where my teachings is failing, where I can improve on my teachings, or where I can do better, or improve on things that I'm already doing well, so you guys can learn a lot more from me. Okay, and again, this is me coming from a perspective, from the RAS concept. So me listening from the comments and the posts you're making, I will be able to see where your RAS is currently looking at, so I can maybe redirect you or open up some new colors and expand your vision as to what you can see. Okay, cool. Let's move on now. So you cannot sell transformation if you do not understand the starting point. Okay, it's a bit like what we talked about. If you don't know where you are right now with the dragon's mirror, how can you know where you can take someone, or how can you know where you want to go? What fire are they walking through when they find you? What is the problem? What is the challenge? What are the things they're struggling with? That it's very deep, important. And by the way, this is how you build urgency for them to want to work with you today, not in 10 years time. Okay. So today we're going to map this pain, and very important again around how to think about this. It's not us exploiting those, but it's us honoring it so we can see it clearly. Because a lot of the time, the prospects themselves, because they are not experts in what you do, they don't even know those problems exist. Sometimes you need to help them flesh it out. Okay? But the most important thing today is for you to actually see it from their world, so you have a deep understanding as to where they're coming from, where they come to you. Okay? Now let's go. Let's go and get going with this. So what specific problems did your clients bring to you? Have a look at this. Revenue stuck, weight not moving, relationship broken. So make that whole list for yourself, for your industry. What were they struggling with the day-to-day? Again, go back to some of the clients you've listed above and go through their story. And like I said, if you do what I mentioned on date number 9, which is have an interview with them, you can ask literally all of those questions and you will get the answers. That's how you get to know your clients even better. And most likely, if you love those clients you've been working with, that's how you find more of the same clients. Okay. Now, what had they already tried that didn't work? This is very important. Okay, because you will understand the additional struggles they've went through that again you could solve. And by the way, this is something I will teach in more detail in the mechanical influence training. How long had they been dealing with this problem? Again, this is to expand the pain, the problem, and why it's even more urgent to solve the problem today, not in a week's time, not in a month's time. What was the real underlying issue beneath the surface problem? This is where you go a bit deeper. We're going to slightly touch up on this today, but on day 11 and day 12, we're going to go much more deeper on those. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause, complete those, and as usual, I'll share with you how you can use AI to get the better results, better responses. And like I said, the ideal scenario is you do an interview with them. And let me know if you want me to teach this. I'm happy to see how I can teach it for you guys. But that's another really great way to collect a lot of really powerful information to help you with your sales process. By the way, not just today for your own mindset, which is the main point of this challenge, but also when you go and start to have those conversations, those things will be part of your, again, RAS. So you see it more, you know what to expect, and that's where you can be more present on course. Again, it is another training. I will go through that later. So let me pause and finish that. By the way, I've just realized, because I'm not going to say I'm a lazy person, but I could be lazy, or I'm very efficient. So I'm going to use ChatGPT to do what I've just done for the previous exercise. And the way it works for you, if you want to use it to the best of your ability, two ways. You can either have your interview with that 1, 2, 3 of your ideal clients, open a new chat, put the whole transcription of that interview of that person, or literally describe that person's situation where they came to you and the results they got, and just come here, paste all of the questions that you have here, in here, saying, can you please answer the questions above based on the information you know about Ravinder? And that's it. That will take you a couple of seconds, and therefore that's the answer. Okay, now again, because I've saved time, we're just going to copy and paste all of those. By the way, because I've done this for a long time, my brain works a bit differently, so I know the answers. So if you go and you read for this and it doesn't make too much sense, right, you can also go and say, can you give me more questions so I can provide you with better answers? Okay, and then you answer the questions he brings. It's going to be more detail, and then you're going to ask to regenerate those answers. Okay, but again, as you're going to be posting in the group, make sure you've got your questions so I can go through it, I can read through, I can understand where you're struggling and give you some tips, some advice, and hopefully even give you some answers that can help you at this point. Okay, because I know it might be a new thing for most people, but remember, do not worry. This is your first time doing it. Your RAS is all confused. There's so many things going on. Just give it a go, right? Do not feel like if you don't know what the problem is, it's something wrong about you. It's just you've never done it. Do it once today. And this is my suggestion. If you've done the 30 days, once you finish the 30 days, maybe take a week's break. You can go back and restart the challenge, or put in the calendar and every quarter do this. I can promise you, you will start to see new things happening, new ways of looking at the problems, new ways of looking at the value you provide to your clients. All right. I'm just going to add those now. I'm going to pause and do it. Okay. So I've done this now. You could go through my list of answers if you want. Couldn't close a property deal consistently, revenue growth slower, yeah, strong at her craft but weaker in negotiations, being on the table, spending too much time in conversations. Yeah, so the whole idea here, by the way, is not only just to list them up, but for you to read it back and to actually understand those problems at not a deeper level, but to see the language that's going on behind the scenes from your prospect's perspective. Again, the whole point here is to look at the situation from your prospect's perspective, because remember this, The prospect doesn't care about you. What they only care about is the solution you can bring to them. So it's very important to put yourself in their shoes. So again, hopefully that's an aha moment, a learning point. Put yourself in their shoes. Look at the world from their perspective. Look at the problems they are currently having. Okay? So again, if you want to go above and beyond, do this exercise for one client, do it for another client, do it for 3 or 4 clients if you want to. That's where you'll get a better understanding as to what we're looking to achieve. You will start to see patterns. You will start to see the real problems people are going through when they come with you. And that will help you to really clarify in your mind how much of value you bring to your clients. Okay? So there are overthinking sales conversations, replaying negotiations, time pressure, feeling busy, all of those things. This is great. What have they already tried? So they read books, watch negotiation on YouTube, try to be more confident. Yeah, this is good. How long have you been dealing? So she had it for 20 years in dentistry and the gap between performance. Yeah, this is good. Then you go into the fear, the beliefs, the issues. Okay. No, I can't close. Real issues were. So in her case, it's not that she couldn't close, but the real issue was the fear of being perceived as pushy. You know, now the point here, look, very important, right? The fear of being perceived as pushy. So you may have seen me share some of the language about being pushy, about being sleazy, because I know my audience will be having those languages, because I used to have it. Okay. So same identity. Maybe you are a hairdresser. Maybe you are an accountant. Maybe you have some kind of professional background, or even you may be a dancer. And therefore you stay in the identity of a dancer rather than being a dancer who can also help someone want to work with them so you can solve their problems and being, if you want to call it a closer, a salesperson, and influence on others. Okay. So, yeah, this looks great. Feel free to use ChatGPT to help you. Okay, so that's date number 10. Let's now go through the tracker. We're going to go with watch number 10, Dragon's Eye. Okay, because I'm doing those videos kind of 2 or 3 or 4 a day, I might not have a lot to write here, but I might still, let me still find something so I can show you can find things if you force your mind to find them. So let me do some of those, and then I will keep on, and then I will show you how to add the Dragon Scales to the community so people can benefit from it, and then we'll complete the rest as we usually do with the post and the aha and the wins. And remember guys, if someone comes with me and they've done all of those, we have some awards, some rewards, and potentially even there will be one winner every month who will also win £250, and it could be even more as we grow and we get more. So yeah, for me, I just want to give you some kind of rewards for pushing yourself, because I know these things work, and I know if you keep on sticking to it and maximize what I'm teaching to you, this will be a new habit that you will take with you for the rest of your life and keep on getting better at this. So as much as I can do to help you stick to it, I will do it. But also share with me some ideas if you feel that could make it better, and let's go into that. All right, so let me do this now and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've done this now, and one key thing I wanted to share with you guys is, as I'm building this challenge, there's a lot of new things that I'm learning about school, about how to set this all up. I'm learning how to create this challenge from another great mentor of mine right now. And I'm going to be making mistakes, but the whole point is I need to get going with things so that my RAS gets used to the different things and I start to realize where things are. So if you go back to day 1 to day 10, you will see an evolution into how I'm creating those posts, the order I'm creating them, and my goal is to keep on making them better and stronger and more efficient and cleaner for you as I go along. Because I'm going to open the doors after I've completed all 30 days, I'm not getting feedback yet, but this is why I want you to share with me how you're feeling, how things are going for you in the challenge, so I can even change videos in between if needed, if you feel some things can be better. So do give me some feedback. Let me know how I can make things better for you. But right now, I've just added this. So you should be here on day number 10. And by the way, I've realized I don't need to have this here, because I'm going to have the video here, but below you're going to have day 10 duty to sale challenge, and this is here. You're going to have the template. You can just copy and paste. We'll go through it together. Right now, let's go for the dragon scales, which is slightly below. We're going to come back here, find dragon scales, day number 10. We're going to have, and just copy and paste everything in here. Okay, and then we're going to paste them back here. So go to comment there, Control C, and paste it all down here. Then you can clean it up if you want to to make it easier to read. You can leave no, I think that's fine. You can leave a GIFs if you want, and just go comment. So now I can go and read through this, understand better where you guys are at, and provide some feedback. For me, it'd be good feedback to see whether my training was helpful, whether you understood, whether your RAS was aligned. But remember, if things did not make sense right now, that's okay. You can come back in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, in a year's time again to this training. You will see things from a different perspective. I can promise you that. I know it works. So feel free to come back and share some feedback on this, please. Now, the next thing I was going to share with you is, okay, so the video, by the way, is going to be here. Below, you go and click on this day 10 duty to sell challenge. Actually, let me put some cool emojis on this one, which I thought that was already. Okay, then what I've done is I've copied, okay, and then I've pasted this in the comment just here. But now what we're going to do, I'm going to update this. So what I've done, I've got my good things, which I've now updated. And as I was doing it, by the way, I could see that I had more than 5. I had like 10 I could write, but I'm going to do the next one on the next video. But there's loads of good things that you can find if you look for them. Okay, keep on finding them. And here, very important point I need to explain again. This doesn't need to be massive wins. Very simple. I love how the sun was yellow today. I enjoyed listening to the birds. Like right now, there's some birds outside. I enjoyed listening to the birds. I had a good moment with my nephew. You had a good moment with your kid. Anything, just keep on building up those good things until it becomes a habit. Okay? I guess for me, it just happens unconsciously right now, but I can find hundreds every single day. I believe that. Okay, next one, the ahas. Again, I found 3. Like I said, if you only find 1, that's okay. If you find 10, keep on writing them up. I believe in this training that I'm doing right now, there must have been at least 10 ahas. Even for me, as I'm sharing it, I was like, oh, cool. That's a good thing. I would have learned to have heard about this when I started my journey. So hopefully you guys are getting a lot of aha moments. And like I said, me reading through the ahas will allow me to know how much you're taking in, how much you're understanding. Me reading the words you're using will also help me see where you are on your journey, and hopefully give you some additional pointers. Put the names here as well. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to put my name, and those are the wins. And again, I found 3 wins. If you only find 2 or 1, that's okay. And that's that. And then we're going to add the screenshot of the tracker. So you go to your tracker, okay, and we're going to do day number 10. So training done, dragon's eye done. We're going to have the dragons scales day 10. We're going to tick this one. We're going to tick the community, which is what we're doing. Then we're going to have the post and this one. So tick them up if you know you're going to do them. If you are not going to do them, that's okay. Just don't tick them up, right? There's no point kind of lying or cheating, you know. So we're going to now copy, screenshot this. making sure you get the numbers so we know where you're at, and you know, you can have it as a competition with everyone else. Then you paste it in the comment. You can just Control V, by the way, it just comes up. Then you can have your share link, copy, and now we're going to put that in here. As usual, we're going to do the click here. There. Okay, there you go. So that's you ready to roll for the community post of the day. That allows me to see where you're at. Okay, great. Now, like I said, so we can keep track as to where things are, you can also now do this, copy. Okay, and the best way is you come to the community, but you right click, you open in a new tab, and you put it here. Now we're going to post all of those one at a time. So here, the whole of it, could copy this, Control X if you want to cut, Control V to paste. Okay, so that's the dragon's eye, so we're going to find dragon's eye, and then we're going to post. Cool. Next one, we're going to go down to, the ahas, come back here, and then Control X, Control V, the ahas, that we're going to put that in the ahas. We go back here, we're now going to find the wings, open that one up, this one is good. So we're going to Control X, Control V, and we're going to find the wings. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful, and let me know if things are a bit confusing. Again, like I said, the 30 days video will be ready before anyone can access this, so I will update and improve those videos and those training as we go along and as I hear more people sharing. All right, so that's it for me. Well done for getting to day number 10. This is 1/3 through this journey. I hope you are learning a lot. I hope you're getting some results. I hope you are seeing some changes in the way you act, the way you speak, the way you think, and even the way you close deals on a day-to-day. Let's keep going, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.